Welcome to Tea Time, where Thuy and Edith argue. Tea time.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Well, we don't always have to argue, do we?
But it inevitably always happens.
Okay, we disagree on a lot of things then, I'm saying.
Yes.
It's probably you being from America, me being from England kind of thing. Do you think?
I don't know. I think that's more of a personality thing. Just because we're like Americans doesn't mean we have to argue about everything.
I'm not saying all Americans, I'm just saying you being American.
Maybe.
Asian American. Was it your month this month? I think it was, right?
May is the month of Asians.
Yeah.
Asian Awareness Month.
Pacific Americans, Pacific Islanders, I think. Asian Americans, and you should know. You should know it was your month.
Every month is my month.
Oh, sorry. Anyway. Hi, Thuy.
Hi.
Hi.
You know what? I think that a lot of people would be interested actually in knowing a little bit about your background because they obviously hear that you're not from around here by your Alabama accent.
Uh-huh.
And I actually have asked you stuff too in the past, but...
I ignore you.
Yeah.
Okay, so, well, I'm from England.
Bradford,
West Yorkshire. England is part of the United Kingdom. And the United Kingdom consists of England, Wales, Scotland. Scotland to the north, Wales to the west. We're bordered by water. What's the
right?
Channel, English Channel, to the south of us, which would take us across to France. England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales.
But you have to specifically say Northern Ireland because Southern is not part of the UK. What's it like, or what was it like? Because you're not there anymore. But what was it like growing up in England? Like how long did you live there for?
I lived in England when did I move? I moved when I was 27.
Oh, okay. Like 3 years ago.
Yes, I left England when I was 27. And moved to Pennsylvania. But growing up there, so I had 2 brothers and 3 sisters. I was the baby of the family.
But what was like so different about there? Like you lived in America for quite some time now. Mm-hmm. Like the cultures, just like the little nuances. What's different?
There's not much difference, I don't think. I mean, other than being able to travel around England probably in a day, which you couldn't do in America. The size is different. Weather, living here in Florida, is much different to growing up in England and having the rain and the bleak and the sleet and the greyness. It's just grey.
So is everyone in England like depressed?
They should be. I wouldn't say depressed, but I mean, it doesn't help that it's grey outside.
Yeah.
When the sun shines, people smile a lot more, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, it's kind of grey over there.
Is that
Sometimes they'll get sun and you'll get a phone call saying, hey, the sun's out. I'm like, well, enjoy it. Don't waste your time on a phone call with me. Go enjoy the sunshine.
Is that where grey Earl tea comes from?
It does. English grey Earl.
Because it's always grey.
Huh? Because it's always grey over there.
Yeah.
So just stay inside, have a nice cup of tea.
What's the deal with that?
What's the deal with what?
Why is tea such like an ordeal? Like it's not just like coffee where you're like, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee, and then you just like have a cup of coffee. It's like a whole ceremony.
Having tea?
Yeah.
Only if you make it a ceremony. Otherwise, you go in the kitchen, put the kettle on, get a tea bag, put it in a cup, pour some hot water on it, sit down, let it stew, drink it. No ordeal. Only if you're thinking, oh, tea and sandwiches and
scones.
Yeah, they have little tea rooms and things like that. I don't know why. Maybe back in the day, that's how everybody acted. So let's keep it going. Yeah. I mean, if you want a cup of tea and a scone, put some scones in the oven, bake some, put some jam on it, bit of butter, get a cup of tea, sit down, watch Emmerdale Farm.
Is it like a status thing? Because like for instance, I'm so rich that all of my workers and laborers are out in the yard laboring. Meanwhile, I can take the time out of my day to sit and enjoy some tea with crumpets and scones.
Yeah. Back in the day when you could do that, or certain people, if they were so rich, yeah, they'd put on the little bonnet and sit down with a little teacup with a little finger out, take a sip. But I mean, no, it's not like I did that when I was growing up. It's not. I went out and played over at Quarry, went to Lagoon. Yeah.
What's that mean?
What's what mean? It's like somewhere to go hang out.
What's
get
a
up
quarry?
to no good. A quarry?
Yeah.
What's
Like literally a quarry?
Literally a quarry.
So you were trespassing.
Yeah. It's okay when you're a kid, right? You can do that. We were being adventurous.
Okay.
Adventurous. You'd go over at quarry to this. I don't even know why, to tell you the truth, because it's so disgusting. It was just a body of water, dead animals in there, rats. Ugh. We used to go swimming in that crap.
So I read that, believe it or not, how many cups of tea do Brits consume in every day, each day?
Is one person or the
British people, I guess all over the world or whatever, in one
British
day.
people consume about as much as Americans drink coffee, right?
So how many cups a day? I don't know how.
The average person would drink maybe 5 cups of tea a day.
Okay. So how many Brits are out there in the world?
How many? 56 million?
So what's your guess?
Is that the population? Well, times that by 5 cups a day. So that would be a lot. 56.5. That would be what? 300 million.
300 million?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where this statistic came from and how they even calculate it. Maybe it's from, the economics of buying tea and all that. But supposedly every day, British only, not even including Asians who drink a lot of tea, by the way, 1 million cups a day. 100 million cups a day.
What?
100 million cups of tea a day.
That's a lot of tea.
Yeah. That's why it was such a big deal for them when the Bostonians
Threw it all in the river.
Heck yeah.
The Bostonian. That'll be why. Because you threw my tea in the river.
That's where it started.
Uh-huh.
That's our origin story. I'm from Boston, by the way. Another weird thing that comes to my mind when I'm thinking about like how quirky the Brits are and stuff like that. What the hell is cheese rolling?
Cheese rolling?
Yeah.
You mean what they do down a hill?
Yeah.
It's rolling cheese down a hill. And
Why?
again, you're asking me these things like I partook in these things. I have never chased a block of cheese down a hill. I've seen people do it, and there's a lot of injuries on there. And I don't even know what they get. What do they get? The block of cheese?
Yes.
You have to catch the cheese and you get to keep it?
Yes.
Nice.
Why do you drive on the other side of the road?
Why do you drive on the other side of the road?
Because we're the ones that invented the
Cars?
vehicle. Yeah.
So we just wanted to piss you off like you did with the Boston tea. You know what? They might have invented the car, but we'll drive on whichever side we want to.
But I would imagine if they invented the car, they invented the car with the steering wheel on the left side, meaning driving on the right side of the road. So you had to
The steering wheel's on the other side of the car. It's not on the same side as you.
I understand.
Okay.
But we're the ones who invented it.
Okay.
So why did you have to mix things up and reverse it?
So we drive on the right and you drive on the left, right? No. Yes.
Oh, driving, yeah. But I thought you meant on the side of the road.
Right. The steering wheel in America is on the left and you drive on the right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we put the steering wheel on the right
Correct.
and we drive on the left.
Yeah. Why'd you have to do that?
Because it's the opposite of what you guys did.
Just to tick us off.
I don't know if it were to tick you off or just to make it easier for us over there. I don't know why.
How does that make it easier?
How doesn't it?
Because it's already manufactured a certain way.
But
why would you
obviously
change
it
up?
wasn't. Obviously it wasn't manufactured that way in England.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe they just read the specs backwards or something, and that's how it happened. So then they thought, well, we might as well change the side of the road we drive on too. That's how I think it went down. They just read it backwards. You know, it's because it's clear paper, you know, like tracing paper.
Yeah.
And they had it the wrong way around.
That's why we won the Revolutionary War.
Is that why?
Yeah.
Because Brits
you guys are
read
backwards.
Ah.
I know we kind of sort of talked a little bit about it before, but like, what does the monarchy do? You said they make appearances and they go out and they try to like do good for like the community, for the country, but like seriously, like what do they do? They have like parliament and they have a prime minister.
Like, they have a government.
Why?
Because otherwise it'd be anarchy, right? It'd be crazy.
There's
I mean,
many
what
other
if you didn't have a
countries.
government or a...
But the monarchy, we don't.
There's many countries with a royal family.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. What do they do? What's their like purpose? Why do they still exist if there's government?
So they can rule the government, right?
I don't know about that. I don't think like say King Charles
Tells the government what to do.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Don't everything go through Charles and...
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I think so. Let me... You know what? I'll call them tomorrow and find out.
Yeah, send him an email.
And see. I'm going to ask him why he's still around. I mean, when your mum kicked it, why didn't you just call it quits? Like, okay, we're done.
Wow.
It's over. We had a good run. Right?
How did they teach the Revolutionary War? We were the rebels.
No.
We were the bad guys.
We didn't bother about that one.
Really?
Yeah. I think they tore that out of books. I think.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're mad because they lost.
Maybe.
So they're like, we're not going to teach them this. Yeah.
Isn't that how it goes? We only teach people what we want them to know, right? Not everything. Just what we want them to know.
I guess so.
I believe so.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious. I never thought about it. Like, what do they teach in England about the American Revolution?
Growing up, I wasn't really into... I mean, I loved English and I loved math. And everything else was sports. So, like, history, geography. I mean, I don't know my ass from my elbows. Well, on the map.
So, like, you know how you were saying how, like, earlier... it's like a country where you could just like drive and get to anywhere in like a day, unlike the US. Mm-hmm. That is like one of the things that I'm looking forward to.
Traveling
you know, when
around.
when I do go to England, is that it's so like kind of central. Like if you wanted to hop over to Ireland real quick, or if you want to like, obviously Wales is like right there, but if you want to just hop over to like any of the countries like Norway or France, I mean it's all right there.
Continental Europe, they're very close by.
But
maybe you get on the channel.
Yes.
Train, would you go on there?
Sure.
Would you?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I don't think
I've traveled
I would.
all kinds of ways.
I know. No, I don't think I could. I'm getting all anxious just thinking about you going on there.
Why?
I don't know. It's just the fact that it's underwater.
I mean, how long is the actual like
travel?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're at least under there an hour.
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't go in the Titan, which is that submarine that I guess imploded. Yeah, that's pretty deep, but I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
You'd rather take a ferry?
I would. Or a plane. I'd get on a plane.
Right. Zip over.
I'd rather be on top of the water than under the water, yes. Even if the ferry ride was longer. But, I mean, if you drugged me and put me to sleep, and I didn't know, obviously.
Right.
But just knowing that I'm under the water, I'd be looking out a window thinking, okay, well, it's daylight. When's this going to start leaking? You know, you've seen all those films.
Sure. Did you know that actually England was, I guess, where the earliest like railways were invented, because we're just talking about like how we zip around the country and all that. I didn't know that.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
And also that there's not a spot anywhere in England that you can go where you're not more than 70 miles from the water. So like in any direction. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, but 70 miles.
Yeah, was that a weird thing?
70 miles is pretty far though, right?
No, it's like an hour's drive. Well, the way you
70.
drive, it's like 45-minute drive.
No.
Yes.
It's a couple of hours, 70 miles.
No, it's not.
No?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I was just about to ask you about the whole miles and kilometers conversion. Was that like all messed up for you when you moved to America and like things were in ounces versus liters?
Easily to convert,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, 70 miles is not that far.
Oh, maybe it wasn't that easy to convert.
Have you ever been to Buckingham Palace?
I have been to Buckingham Palace. Not inside.
Oh, okay.
Outside.
What's it like?
It's big, flashy, full of guards, horses, trumpeters, drums, marching bands.
Why didn't you go inside?
I was hungry.
Oh.
Tony wanted to see changing of the guards, so we went there, saw that, watched a big parade and hoo-ha and whistles and bells, and then walked down the street and went to a nice English cafe, got some bacon and eggs and sausage and baked beans and a good old English breakfast.
Yeah, again, I don't get the whole beans and toast. That's gross.
Yeah, well, it might be gross to you because you didn't grow up with it.
Any kind of beans?
No, baked beans in tomato sauce.
Did you know, and I don't know if this is true, but in the UK, supposedly all horses, donkeys, and ponies must have a horse passport? Imagine if you owned like several horses and you're moving your horse from like maybe like one county to like another. The horses gotta have a passport. Is that true?
How should I know that?
You know this stuff.
I don't have a horse. I do not have a horse, and I don't have a passport for it.
But you live there.
I don't live there anymore. Maybe rules have changed and regulations have changed. I don't recall. I had a couple of friends that had horses growing up. I don't recall them having passports for them when they just took us over quarry and fields to ride the horses over at school. I don't ever recall them saying, this is Stanley and here's his book. This is where he's been. We've been stamped.
Stanley. You would name him Stanley.
Why not? So with Stanley, that's a good horse name. Nice and strong.
Did you know that the Queen never had a passport?
I didn't know that. Why not?
Yeah, I know. She travels all these countries and stuff.
And she never had a passport stamp, not once?
Correct.
Well, how is that right?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
We weren't actually friends. Like, I didn't have a number.
But you're friends with Charles because you're going to call him tomorrow.
Oh, I won't say friends. I know Charles. He's a friend of a friend.
Also, I guess going with that, because you're talking about like the Queen and all that, if you were to buy a stamp in England that has a picture of the Queen's face or the Queen's head on it, and if you put it upside down on an envelope, that's considered treason.
Not treason.
It is.
Treason?
Yeah.
I've put many a stamp on upside down.
With her face on it?
No.
In England?
No.
Yeah.
I've done it in America. Just in America. So it's treason?
Yes.
So if you accidentally put a stamp on, they're going to take you to dungeons?
I don't know.
Do they still have the dungeons? In the Tower of
Sure.
London?
Yes.
So they still put you down there?
Apparently.
How long for?
I don't know. You could be like, oh, like your son, they want to help you like write a letter to grandma,
Right.
and you're like, oh, let me put the stamp on, mommy, and then you give it to him to put the stamp on, and then he puts it on upside down, and then you go to send it off. Ooh, they're gonna show up at your door.
Yeah, well, kid's going. He did it. Yep, take him. Go take him to dungeons. Bring him back when he's 18.
Okay, so I think like a cool part to like I don't know, maybe like conclude it. I'll say like some word
Okay.
in
American.
English.
American
English.
Okay.
And then
I'll say it in British
what
English.
it's called, yeah.
Okay.
For instance, like potato chips,
Crisps.
French fries,
Chips.
elevator,
Lift.
underwear,
Knickers.
butt.
Hole.
Don't you say like bum
Butter,
or
bum,
buttocks?
Bum.
Buttocks.
Bum or buttocks.
And if I say a beer, you'd say a pint.
Pint.
Really?
Pint or a half pint. You get half pints in England.
Why? Like you can't finish it. Give me a break.
Some ladies can't. They'll have a pint, half a pint of lager and lime.
But why do you
lager
say
and black?
Why do you say pint when you don't use like crap like pint or gallons?
We do use pint and gallons,
But you use like milliliters.
but we still have pints. We still have pints. I mean, you can go to bed on a Thursday and do the quiz and win a gallon of beer. 8 pints.
That doesn't make sense.
Why not?
Because you don't use like words like that when you use like milliliters or liters.
Do you use words like milliliters and liters?
Only from working at a bar.
And do you, okay, so, and you're in America,
Yeah.
so things merge.
But in
occasionally.
general, I don't say like add 20 milliliters of water like when I'm making a recipe. It's like add like a fourth of a cup.
Because the ingredients that you're reading are not in English. If you were if you got a Bureau book, which is a flour in England, Bureau flour,
Yeah.
and they have this book, a pastry book, you go get that, then everything's going to be in milliliters
Right.
or in kilograms or...
But then why use gallons and pints? That's what I'm saying. You don't use ounces.
Do you... So, in America, they only use they don't use milliliters.
Correct.
That is incorrect because I've seen little jugs, measuring jugs. It's got
sure.
milliliters
Yeah.
on the side. Okay,
But it's
so
not used like when in a recipe they'll say like use half a cup of milk.
right,
They
because
say
that's
cups.
America.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you're commingling. You're using like both gallons.
Is
and
that illegal?
It is in my book.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a good job you're not the measuring police. Because otherwise, England would be done.
Okay, so how would you say, cigarette?
Fag. You got a fag?
What about a bag?
Like just a bag? You just call it a bag? Not
You don't
a backpack
Oh,
or
okay.
a satchel?
Satchel.
A satchel would be like a backpack.
Okay. I know there's like some other
Sneaker.
like, weird stuff. Yeah.
Trainer.
Trainers.
Yeah. Or a jumper.
Or if I say,
sweater.
I'm so hungover, you say, like I'm knackered.
Did we go out last night?
You're like, I'm knackered.
Yes.
Or like, I'm smashed.
I'm trashed.
Wow.
Hungover. Trashed.
Nice.
It's just hungover is hungover.
All
you
right.
got a hangover, you got a hangover. It's the same.
All right.
Universal, I think. I believe so.
Well, I don't know how many of you out there are either British or maybe you lived in England or maybe you
Want to live in England?
or maybe you know British people, but tell us all about the quirks and stuff that you have observed and please share them with us.
It took a while for people to understand me. I had to speak slower. For some.
I still
repeat
don't
myself.
understand you.
I don't like talking on the phone because people don't understand what I'm saying.
Oh, she's horrible to talk to on the phone. She calls, I never pick up. I say, just text me.
So
it's
I don't call her.
We sign language. And most of the time, she signs me the finger.
And she understands very well.
Yeah. That's universal too?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you say, what would they say in England? Bugger off?
The polite way, yes.
Bugger off.
Bugger off.
What's the not polite way?
Well, that's universal also.
Yeah.
That is also universal.
Thanks so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Thuy and Edith Argue
about England.
Where can they find us, Edith?
They can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok,
Spotify, any major listening platforms. Thanks so much. We hope we hear from you.
Yes, please do.
Please chime in your thoughts, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Bye.